15 creepy images discovered around the web. Number 15. A sea of sheep. Sheep aren't too creepy on their own, but turn down the lights and multiply them by 100, and you've got yourself some solid nightmare fuel. This photo of a veritable sea of sheep proves just how unsettling it can be to have a number of harmless animals staring at you. With their eyes glowing like that, and so many of them just standing there, it makes you think what they might be capable of if they all worked together. Hopefully, they're just thinking about hay and not trying to achieve karmic justice against humanity. Number 14. Google catches a pigeon cult? It seems as though a Google streetcar accidentally intruded on a pigeon cult meeting in Japan, and they all turned towards it as it went by. This is truly unsettling until you realize that pigeon roleplay isn't too uncommon a practice in Japan, and this was probably just a group of youths having fun. Well, actually come to think of it, knowing that a bunch of people putting on realistic plastic pigeon masks and gathering in public doesn't really make it any less unsettling. Number 13. Baby Doll Island? In a remote area of Xochimilco, Mexico City, a family discovered a corpse of a young girl and her toy doll. Then they heard the screams and footsteps of a small girl at night. To quell her spirit, they began hanging toy dolls from trees. Now, the whole island is covered in baby dolls, making the haunted island incredibly creepy to visit. I mean, unless you love the whole plastic decrepit dolls hanging from trees and staring at you thing. Number 12. The scariest wedding party. This aerial photo of a marriage ceremony revealed something creepy that no one saw until after it ended. Just behind the building, there stands a group of bone-chilling hooded figures standing around idly. One of them even looks like they're staring directly at the photographer. Are these spirits come to curse this marriage? Or maybe some cultists who reserved the space right after the wedding? Or maybe they're just creepy relatives that no one wanted at the reception. Number 11. Skin coats. This creepy coat of many faces isn't a prop from The Thing or a product from Ed Gein, but a product from the Skin Bag line by French designer Olivier Goulet. Skin Bag is a line of artistic pieces that are made out of a synthetic skin. This creepy little overcoat is called the social condom, and it allows you to cast all of your closest friends' faces so that you can wear them around you at all times and keep you safe and cozy. If that is, however, being surrounded by eerily realistic skin molds of your best friends is your idea of cozy. Number 10. A hornet's nest in the shape of a face. One person came home to find this ominous entity growing outside their home. Of course, they assumed that the god of hornets had appeared before them to leave an apocalyptic omen. No, just kidding. This is what happens when a group of hornets makes its nest on top of one of your decorative masks. Although, a creepy face nest full of probably aggressive hornets still isn't the best thing to see. Number 9. Bloody mess. When this image first made its rounds on the internet, a whole slew of conspiracy theories and hokey stories were weaved to explain what could have possibly happened to cause this huge bloody mess. Was it some kind of cult group suicide? A massacre perhaps? A satanic ritual that required 10 gallons of blood? This is apparently what happens when a horse gets a nosebleed. This is a holding room at a vet's surgery where a horse was being watched carefully, since a horse nosebleed can apparently be pretty fatal. Judging by this bloody aftermath, it's easy to see why. Number 8. He's watching. Imagine walking through your house when you feel a presence watching you. You look up and suddenly you see a vague figure in the shadow and realize it's a man. A humanoid shape that is definitely not human. That's the story behind this truly creepy image. Luckily, it's not a story from real life, but a story from a video game. This was one of the most frightening moments from a short video game demo called PT from Guillermo del Toro and Hideo Kojima. Number 7. The Red Box Demon. This is apparently a screenshot from a security camera right next to a red box at Ralph's. It captured an odd occurrence in which a girl seems to be suddenly bending her head at an unnatural angle with extreme force. What could she be looking at? Why is she doing that? And why are her eyes completely white? I guess there's no way to know. Personally, I'm just glad that I wasn't in the line behind her. Number 6. A nanny on a walk. Mannequins are possibly the creepiest things in existence. What's more off-putting than a slightly inaccurate, faceless, lifeless copy of a human made specifically for us to decorate with real people clothes? How about that, but also they're armless children? That's probably why this image of a woman casually carrying around a group of small mannequin kids in public is so creepy. It just feels so wrong. Number 5. Graveyard Snowman. Nothing says Merry Christmas like snowmen in the winter. Well, maybe not these snowmen, which look more like decrepit ghouls that were built right next to a grave rather than a holly jolly friend to all. These two are snowmen that you definitely don't want to put a magical hat on and sing a hopeful song to. If this did come to life, it would definitely be a new twist on the old Frosty the Snowman tale. That's definitely one gritty franchise reboot we don't want to see. Number 4, A Visitor from the Fog. These teens are just doing what all teens love to do, explore the forest alone in the fog. When has that ever gone wrong, right? Well, you might notice that there isn't just 3 people in this photo, but 4. Off in the distance is a distinctly man-shaped figure obscured by the fog. You wouldn't catch me in this forest. Number 3, Japanese monster children. We've already established the fact that mannequins are creepy as hell. You know what's even creepier though? Weird, uncanny valley monster children mannequins. Nothing makes you want to visit a store sale more like scary mannequins with horrific expressions yelling at you to do it. If you don't actually, you might have to face the consequences. Like that screaming mannequin boy visiting you at night asking you why you didn't buy anything from his store. No thanks. Number 2, God is watching you. Nothing to remind you not to sin like this picture of hundreds of pastors, priests, and bishops alike staring at you with glowing eyes. Whether this image was created because of a low light and a flash, or it was manipulated after the fact, there's still no denying the unnerving sensation you feel from just having a bunch of holy men staring at you. The glowing eyes definitely adds to the creepiness. Number 1, Head in a Jar. Coming home to your significant other's head stuffed in a jar is probably the worst possible way to end your day. That's what happened to this man's wife when she opened the fridge and found her dearly beloved had been crudely pickled. Luckily, this isn't the beginning of a horrible homicide story. If you look closely, you might notice a seam at the top of the jar. Yep, this is actually a clever photograph taped to the inside of a jar. It's not a horrible homicide, but a really, really mean prank.